You've probably been there, right? Standing around with friends, everyone's hungry, and then comes that classic dilemma.
Where to eat?
Exactly. That's where Khalid and Abdullah find themselves in one of our source examples. You've got Mama's Pizzeria, famous for amazing pizza, great service, but yeah, it costs a bit more.
Right. The premium choice.
Then there's Ristorante Italia. Bigger menu pizza, pasta, salads, sandwiches, you name it. Food's decent, but maybe not super authentic Italian. Plus, it's often packed, service can be slow, but the pizza itself is cheaper.
Okay, a different set of trade-offs.
So the question for you listening is, if you were with them, how would you choose? And maybe even more interesting, what advice would you give those restaurants to keep succeeding?
It seems simple, but it opens up a lot.
It really does. Because that choice, that everyday decision, kind of kicks off our deep dive today. We're going way beyond just picking a restaurant.
Yeah, this is about the bigger picture.
This deep dive is all about getting under the hood, understanding what really makes businesses tick, what drives success. And not just for entrepreneurs, but really for anyone in the working world. We're going to look at the key skills, the different kinds of businesses out there, the challenges and risks they constantly face, and also the rewards that keep people going.
And our mission here really is to pull out the most important insights from the sources we've looked at. We want to help you get a solid grasp on the core elements of business and career success.
Right.
And importantly, how that's all changing, especially with new technologies like Fintech really shaking things up.
Okay, let's unpack this right away then. What does it actually take to succeed these days? Our sources seem to point to two essential types of skills, like two main pillars.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your technical skills on one side, often called hard skills, right?
Yeah.
Or specialized career training. These are those specific things you need to know for a particular job. Think IT, accounting, law, engineering.
Healthcare marketing.
Real estate, insurance, even law enforcement, fields like that. And the key thing here is it's not just about getting the entry-level knowledge. These fields demand ongoing education. You have to keep learning to stay current. Things change so fast.
So that's pillar one, the technical stuff, the what you know. But then you mentioned a second pillar?
That's right. The general career skills.
Yeah.
Often called soft skills.
Oh, the soft skills. Everyone talks about those.
They do, and for good reason. These are the more adaptable abilities, the how you operate skills, you could say. They apply across all sorts of work situations.
And what kind of things fall under that umbrella?
Yeah.
According to the research.
Well, the sources highlight quite a few observed and successful people. First off, just a professional manner, which sounds simple, but it covers a lot. Honesty, integrity, being dependable.
Showing up on time, managing your time wisely.
Exactly, and putting in the hard work. Then there's having a cooperative attitude. Really being able to work with other people effectively.
Not just alongside them, but collaboratively.
Precisely. Also, taking initiative, not waiting to be told everything. Being able to overcome obstacles, meet challenges, adapt when things change, because they always do.
Absolutely. Change is constant. What else?
A real desire for ongoing learning is huge. Knowing your way around technology, especially now with so much remote work happening.
That tech piece seems more critical than ever.
It really is. Plus, creative problem solving and research skills, especially when you're working in a team. And of course, good communication, written and spoken, can't overstate that.
Makes sense. Anything less obvious?
Maybe this one. Even a basic understanding of things like accounting, finance, marketing, maybe some other administrative or managerial topics. Even if that's not your main job function, having that broader business sense is really valuable.
Interesting. So it's not just for the managers or the finance people.
Not at all. So what's fascinating here is why most jobs really need a mix of both the hard and the soft skills.
Yeah, why the blend?
Because just knowing how to do a technical task isn't enough in most roles. You need to be able to communicate about it, work with others on it, adapt if the project changes. It's that combination that makes someone truly effective and adaptable in different work situations.
Right, it's the whole package.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know what skills are needed. Let's shift to how people actually get them, because it's not just sitting in lectures, is it?
Not usually, no. The sources detail a bunch of ways people gain these abilities and get real-world experience, especially while they're still learning or just starting out.
Like what?
Well, work-study programs, for one, sometimes called cooperative education or co-op.
Ah, yeah, I've heard of those.
They're great because you're combining school with actual work experience. You learn the technical side on the job, and you learn how to interact in a professional setting. Learning by doing, really.
Makes sense. And internships, obviously.
Yes. Internships are huge. They give you direct work experience inside an organization. You learn about a career field from the ground up. The sources specifically mention how common and useful they are in, like, accounting, finance, marketing, communications.
But even just a regular part-time job can help, right?
Absolutely. Don't underestimate part-time work. It gives you valuable experience, helps you figure out if you even like a certain type of work, and crucially, you start building a network, making contacts.
Those contacts can be invaluable later on.
For sure. And it's not just paid work either. Community service, volunteering, great ways to build work habits, organizational skills. You might even discover a passion you didn't know you had.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
What about things you do in school itself?
Yeah, even class assignments help build skills. Writing reports, giving presentations that develops research and communication abilities. Team projects are gold mines for learning collaboration. And even joining clubs or organizations.
Yeah.
Think about it. You learn goal setting, planning events, maybe even supervising others or delegating tasks, all really practical management skills.
So it sounds like there are opportunities everywhere if you look for them. When you do apply for these things, internships, jobs, what's the key?
Knowing the organization and the position is critical. You can't just send a generic application. You really need to show how your specific training and experiences match their specific needs. Connect the dots for them.
Don't make them guess how you fit.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, all these different experiences, work, study, volunteering, team projects, part-time jobs, they add up. They build a well-rounded person who's genuinely ready for the challenges of the business world. It's about creating resilience and adaptability.
So as people get more experience, they might aim for management or leadership roles. And that requires a shift in skills again, doesn't it? It's not just about being good at the technical stuff anymore.
That's a huge shift. These more advanced positions demand the ability to, well, plan, organize, lead teams, motivate people, and manage resources effectively. It's a whole different ballgame.
What are those core leadership skills?
The sources point to things like strategic thinking, seeing the bigger picture, being able to communicate a compelling vision, making tough decisions, often under pressure, and knowing how to delegate work effectively. You can't do it all yourself.
Right. And what about the qualities of successful leaders? Is it just about being smart and decisive?
Interestingly, no. The sources suggest it's more nuanced. Qualities like integrity, empathy, showing gratitude, creativity, having a cooperative nature, these come up again and again. And maybe surprisingly, really strong listening and questioning skills.
Listening, huh? Not just talking.
Exactly. It's about understanding your team, understanding the situation, not just directing traffic.
And you mentioned decision-making. That's obviously huge for leaders. But really, it's a skill everyone needs, right? In work, in life.
Absolutely critical. We make decisions constantly. And the sources actually lay out a pretty useful framework, a 6-step process for making better decisions.
Okay, what is it?
First, you clearly define the problem. What are you actually trying to solve?
Step 1, got it.
Second, identify the choices. What are all the possible paths you could take?
Okay.
Third, evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of each choice, the pros and cons.
Right, weigh them up.
Fourth, choose the best alternative based on your evaluation and priorities. Fifth, you actually act on the choice. Make it happen.
Can't just think about it.
Nope. And sixth, and this is often missed, review the decision later. How did it turn out? What did you learn?
That's a solid process. Let's quickly loop back to Khalid and Abdullah. How would that apply?
Okay, so step 1, define the problem, need dinner, balancing preferences, budget, time. Step 2, identify choices, Mama's or Ristorante Italia.
Step 3, evaluate. Mama's, great pizza service, higher price. Ristorante, more options, cheaper pizza, but slow service, less authentic.
Exactly. Step 4, choose based on what's most important tonight. Is it amazing pizza or budget and variety? Step 5, go to the chosen restaurant.
And step 6, afterwards think, was that the right call? Was Mama's worth the extra cost? Or did Ristorante hit the spot despite the wait?
Precisely. This raises an important point. Using a structured process like this, how does it actually help?
Well, I guess it stops you from just making a snap judgment, right? Makes you think.
Exactly. It brings clarity, helps you consider all the angles, and usually leads to choices you're more satisfied with, whether it's dinner or a major business decision.
And usually when you make a choice, there's a trade-off involved. That's a key idea, isn't it?
Absolutely fundamental. A trade-off is simply giving up one thing to get something else. You choose to spend your money on movie tickets.
You can't spend that same money on going to an amusement park. That's the trade-off.
Exactly. And businesses face these constantly. Investing in new tech versus paying dividends, short-term gains versus long-term growth. It's a perpetual balancing act.
Okay, so we've got skills, experience, decision-making. How does this all fit into the bigger world of business itself? Let's talk about the different types of businesses that employ people and create everything around us.
Right. All these individual actions happen within a larger ecosystem. The sources break down businesses into several main types. And it's useful to remember that most products probably pass through several of these types.
It's all connected.
Very connected. So first you have manufacturing. These businesses take raw materials and turn them into finished products. Could be industrial goods like machines for other factories, or consumer goods like the clothes we wear or the phones we use.
Okay, so they make this stuff. How does it get to us?
Often through wholesaling businesses. Wholesalers buy goods in large quantities from manufacturers and then sell them in smaller batches to retailers. They're the intermediaries, the distributors.
Got it. And then the retailers.
Retailing businesses. These are the ones most of us interact with daily. They sell directly to us, the consumers. Your local grocery store, big department stores, online shops, they're all retailers.
But it's not just about physical things being made and sold, is it?
Not at all. A huge part of the economy is service businesses. They provide professional, technical, or personal services for a fee.
Like doctors, lawyers.
Accountants, mechanics, tutors, cleaners. The list is vast. They're selling expertise, time, or convenience rather than a physical product.
Okay, what else?
There are agricultural businesses, growing crops, raising livestock. This also includes aquaculture, which is farming fish, shellfish, or aquatic plants.
Right, farming and fishing, basically.
Essentially. And finally, extracting businesses. These companies take natural resources directly from the environment. Think mining, logging, oil drilling, quarrying. They provide the raw materials that manufacturers then use.
Wow, okay. That covers a lot of ground. And you mentioned earlier, inherent in all of this is risk.
Always. Risk is basically the uncertainty surrounding an event or outcome. Every single business decision involves some level of risk. Companies face potential threats from everywhere, internal things like employee mistakes or theft, external things like economic downturns or natural disasters.
How do businesses even categorize all these potential risks?
They try to think systematically. The sources mention several categories. Geographic risks, for example, things like bad weather hitting crops, or difficult terrain making transport expensive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then political legal risks. This involves government regulations, tax laws, safety standards. These can vary hugely from place to place and really impact how you operate.
Especially for international businesses.
Definitely. Which leads to social cultural risks. Differences in traditions, beliefs, even family structures can create misunderstandings or challenges when doing business across cultures.
You have to be aware of the local context.
Absolutely. Then there are the big economic risks: inflation, currency fluctuations, recessions affecting consumer spending, things largely outside a single company's control.
Okay. What about risks from within the business operations?
Those are operational risks. Things like failing to innovate and falling behind competitors, not meeting customer needs anymore, disruptions in your supply chain, rising costs of materials.
Stuff that can go wrong day to day.
Exactly. And finally, there are the truly unexpected risks. Think sudden spikes in competition, major cyber attacks, pandemics, health crises. The real curveballs. Some companies even run drills, like disaster simulations, to try and prepare for these.
It sounds like managing risk is a full-time job in itself. How do companies try to lessen these risks?
Well, the sources suggest a few key strategies. Constantly monitoring what's happening, sales, costs, market trends, not putting all your eggs in one basket, doing business in multiple markets or regions.
Diversification.
Exactly. And offering a range of products or services, so if one area suffers, others might still do well. But it's a balance, right? Avoiding risk entirely can mean missing opportunities.
That's true. Calculated risks are sometimes necessary for growth.
Absolutely. It's about managing risk intelligently, not eliminating it entirely.
So with all these challenges and risks, why do people bother? What are the rewards that keep businesses going?
That's the crucial flip side. Despite the risks, there are fundamental rewards. The most obvious is making a profit, earning a living. That's the basic financial incentive for owners and investors.
Sure, gotta pay the bills.
But it's often more than that. There's the reward of actually providing goods and services that people need or want, contributing to the overall quality of life. Good businesses really do listen to their customers.
Making a tangible difference.
Yeah. And there's also a significant element of personal satisfaction. For the owners, managers, employees, that feeling of working together, collaborating to create something valuable, something that helps people live better lives, that can be a powerful motivator.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift gears a bit towards the future because technology is changing everything. Here's where it gets really interesting.
AI, robotics, drones, cloud computing, 3D printing.
Yeah.
It's transforming how we do almost everything, including finance.
Which brings us to Fintech, financial technology.
Exactly. Fintech is essentially using technology apps, websites, mobile devices for banking and financial activities. And it's not just about convenience, it's fundamentally changing how financial services work.
And it's happening fast. Our sources even mention a specific initiative, Saudi Fintech, launched back in 2018.
Yeah, by the Saudi Central Bank and Capital Market Authority. The goal is explicitly to develop fintech and boost its role in the country's economy and society. It shows how seriously governments are taking this shift.
So what does fintech look like in practice? What are some examples?
Well, for individuals, you have things like robo-advisors. These are algorithms that give investment advice based on your personal financial situation, your income, assets, debts, goals, how much risk you're comfortable with.
Automated financial advice.
Pretty much. Then there are digital or mobile wallets, apps on your phone that hold your credit cards, debit cards, loyalty cards. You can use them for payments, transferring money to friends, P2P, sometimes even storing IDs or tickets.
Super convenient.
Definitely. And related to that, you have cardless banking and contactless payments in stores. Just tapping your phone or card became even more popular for health reasons recently.
Tap and go, yeah.
Fintech also offers tools for improved financial assistance. Apps that help you save automatically, give cashback rewards, guide you towards building an emergency fund. Some even gamify it, rating your progress on savings or responsible spending.
Trying to make managing money easier? Maybe even engaging.
Right. And there are tools like prepaid cards for kids, where parents can load money, monitor spending, and use it as a teaching tool for money management.
That's clever. What about on the business side?
Big changes there, too.
Yeah.
InsurTech insurance technology uses online platforms and AI to process applications, handle claims, provide quick quotes. It's streamlining a traditionally slow industry.
Making insurance potentially faster and more personalized.
That's the goal. And then there's RegTech regulatory technology. These are tools designed to help companies, especially in finance, comply with complex regulations, particularly around things like anti-money laundering and preventing fraud.
Using tech to handle the complex rule.
Exactly. Which brings up a really important question, linking back to our earlier discussion. How is all this technology going to affect jobs? What skills will be needed to succeed in this increasingly tech-driven business world?
It feels like the pace of change is just accelerating.
It really does. The skills needed tomorrow might be quite different from today.
Well, we have certainly covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We started with that simple restaurant choice.
Khalid and Abdullah.
Right. And from there, we explored the essential skills, technical and general, needed for success, the different ways you can gain experience, that crucial decision-making process, the diverse landscape of business types.
The risks they constantly juggle, and the rewards that make it all worthwhile.
And we wrapped up with a look at how technology, especially fintech, is reshaping the future.
Yeah, it really underscores that success, whether for a person or a whole company, isn't static. It's about continuously developing skills, understanding the environment, managing risks smartly, and being ready to adapt, especially now with innovation happening so fast. Agility is key.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, based on everything we've unpacked today. How might this rapid technological evolution, things like fintech, actually change the very definition of what a successful business even is over the next decade? And maybe more personally, what new skills do you think will be most critical for you and for future generations to really thrive in that evolving landscape?